Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And my vacation's cut a little short. I decided to come in and do this video this morning because the rain was coming in, so I didn't feel like being out in the woods for that. So anyway, I was going to, like I said, I was going to do an outside video, but I didn't. I decided to come into the studio once I started hearing thunder. So that being said, there's two topics I want to discuss in this. And one, I'll never bring up again, or I hope not to. I want to talk about, again, Ricardo Morales, our Commissioner of Public Services, his statement or a Facebook post he made that someone sent me on the situation that happened in front of PHS with the Sochol, however, S-O-C-H-O-L, paintings in the road 3 times. And another thing, more importantly, I want to talk about is those in homelessness, panhandling in the community, and maybe a business owner virtue signaling that he has all the answers, which I found his statement to be, if it wasn't such a serious topic, laughable, but definitely based on ignorance. So let's start just real briefly. So what happened in front of PHS, as many of you know, is the word school was painted on the road 3 times at 3 different spots, and it was spelled incorrectly. They spelled it, I believe, S-O-C-H-O-L. I believe that was the spelling of it. Something like that, or S-C-O-H-O-L. That was it. Skahol. Now, here's what the Commissioner of Public Services statement should have been. Yes, I'm in charge of these programs. There was a mistake that was made. The buck stops with me. We're correcting it. Everyone can get a good laugh and chuckle out of that. It was kind of comical, but we fixed it. End of story. That's it. That should have been the response. But instead, the response was, it was an unfortunate typo. Obviously, and I found it comical that the Berkshire Eagle used the word typo also. That's not a typo. By definition of the word typo, it's based off typography. It can be done digitally or in print format, and it's an error in typing process, printing, right? Not painting public safety signs on the road. So that irritated me. The whole thing irritated me because it was a victim statement. How do we not know this poor worker didn't have enough sleep, or he's working 3 jobs and I have to think about this and that? Absolutely ridiculous. And then puts the name of the contractor in there, the name of the company. That wasn't necessary. That was him taking responsibility and putting it on somebody else, really, and then playing the victim. We have to have compassion in our hearts. And then you get a couple comments that was like, oh, I so love this, it melts my heart. And some city councilors saying, exact, I couldn't agree more. Such BS, it was nauseating. Nauseating, because the response for that could have been quick, short, and simple. We made a mistake. Yes, I am in charge. We're correcting it immediately. I hope everyone gets a good chuckle out of it. End of story. Done. You didn't need to throw the contractor under the bus. You didn't need to have a whole litany of excuses about someone this and not having sleep. Nobody was picking on individuals. Nobody was making fun of somebody. It was funny. It's like if you were to write I'm smart and you spell smart wrong, and not just write it, paint it, or get a tattoo. No regrets. We've all seen that one. Come on. Out of all the words to misspell, school, and you're painting it in 3-foot letters 3 times across a road. It was a mistake, not a typo. It was a mistake. That could have been just a quick and easy response, but nope, get the violin and the candles out, and oh, thank you so much for your honesty, Commissioner, and you're thinking about people. My Christ. Is there anywhere along the line anybody's ever going to just take responsibility for something and just say, you're right, I'm in charge, the buck stops with me, it was a mistake, corrected, done, end of story. That's all that had to be said. But now it's a cause, I guess. And we made it seem like there was this poor little person out there overtired with a paintbrush, just doing the best they could. I saw people making fun of the police because of a post one of our officers made, and he was just trying to make light of it. That's all. And people started going after police and everything. It was ridiculous. And that is all on the commissioner and the city for this. Nobody ever wants to take responsibility for anything. It's disgusting. It really is. It would be laughable if it wasn't our community. How embarrassing and pathetic. Sorry. The next thing I want to talk about is homelessness and panhandling. Okay? So I made a post, as many of you know, saying beware of fake buskers. Don't give money to these people. They're con artists and something along those lines. That might not be verbatim, but that's what I put. And one of our local business owners decided you privileged suburban white people in your $250,000 appointed homes and this and that with some line of crap like based off of what knowledge I don't know. So, and it targeted me in it, not by name, but I'm the one who made that post. Right? So, I have a little bit of insight on this. I spent 4 years of my life on the streets. 4 years. Granted, that was a long time ago, and things have changed since those years. The biggest change in that is the opioid crisis. That didn't exist at that time. But I know a little bit about that life based off reality and experience. That wasn't me picking on people or sitting in my appointed $250,000 home. Show me where I can pick up that house too. It's always the middle class white people who say the biggest problem is the middle class white people. And what do they do to solve the problem? Nothing. But for the past 5 years, I have tithed 95% of all my money back into the community. Whether it be donating to charities, volunteering all my time, everything I do, including out there giving food, water, sometimes packs of cigarettes I hand out, checking on these people. Let's go back to the pandemic when what the city did kicking them out of the St. Joe's shelter was, in my opinion, criminal what they did. It was me and one other person who climbed through the dumpsters worth of trash to retrieve these people's belongings, wallets, phones, iPads. I don't remember seeing that individual there. I don't remember seeing him anywhere when I'm out doing this. But he can make a little Facebook post that people go, "You're so right, it melts my heart." You tell them, what a load of crap that is. Get out and do something before you want to make ignorant statements that you don't know what you're talking about. There's a reason I said that, okay? But where was that person when I was doing that? Ricardo Morales was there. The commissioner of public services was there. He was there watching what we had to do, me and this one other person. And he watched as I had to run over to the side of the building and throw up a couple times because the stench from this trash baking in 90-something degree heat in a dumpster, how horrendous it was. There was maggots and all sorts of stuff, that I was determined to save these people's belongings, what I could. There were stacks of brand new towels and face cloths, still had the tags on them that people donated, that were just tossed in the trash. That's how these people were treated. When I said, so that's just to give you a little bit of an insight onto, don't tell me that I'm not part of the solution. I don't see that idiot out there, and I'm sorry. You're going to act like an idiot, I'm going to call you one. You're going to make statements like that on Facebook, I'll call it out. Because it's based on what? Based on what? You don't know what I do, and I don't see you out there ever. And I'm out there 3, 4, 5 days a week. So I don't want to hear that crap. I give everything I have back into stuff, whether it be those programs or volunteering for other things. But anyway, as somebody who's been on the streets, one of the biggest problems you find being on the streets, and one of the scariest scenarios that you have to be worried about all the time, is other people on the streets. The amount of sexual assaults is bad. The amount of violence, the amount of people that will come up to you and say, "Hey, this is my corner. Get the hell out of here," and threaten to beat you up and take your money from you. So when people fake busk and get out there and panhandler and they bully the other people on the streets, and That's what they do. That happens a lot. And if you don't believe me, ask the police that you don't like. Ask them what's really going on out there. And that's why I said don't give to these fake buskers. They're con artists. If you want to give to the food pantries. Give to the people who are raising funds to buy winter jackets and clothing to the people who need it. If you have to hold people accountable, and you have to have the services readily available for those who need it. You want to curb the problem with panhandling and all that? That's the only way you can do it. Our services are inadequate. Our city hall and this administration does one of the worst jobs I've ever seen at engaging with those who need the help, with addressing the issue. And it's so easy for them to do what they do with the panhandling and everything. Every corner is filled up to the top. And they switch signs. I know how that works. And yes, there are people out there who genuinely, desperately need the help. And then there's people who prey on the whole situation. And that's why I said don't give to the fake buskers. And to say that they're doing no harm, really, they're doing no harm. Would you like them with their 750-watt amp blaring accordion or violin music out in front of your business? Would you like that? Because that's what the reality of it is. And it intimidates, and it's aggressive panhandling. And then they get in their vehicle and drive away. And in that case, I've watched it, filmed it. So take your load of crap about me not understanding and sitting in my appointed suburban middle-class $250,000 home. What a bunch of ignorant nonsense. It's a real problem in this community with panhandling, and it's a real problem that we're seeing with the homeless, and we're not addressing it appropriately. We're not providing the adequate services. I don't know if we contract with one of our local companies, and I don't want to mention them by name now, but I don't like them, and they run our shelter. Where are they? Where are they? How come I don't see them out? Like Worcester has an ambassador street team, where they go out and they engage with these people and they get their information and what is it you need? What services are you looking for? Why are you out here? How can we help? And the people that don't want your help, you stay right there with them. And you know what happens? They eventually go away. I will put it together myself then. I'll put together an ambassador team myself, and I'm going to need volunteers to do it. And we'll start addressing this issue as a volunteer group in the community. That's how we're going to handle it. I'm not going to wait for the city to do something anymore. They're not going to. Their actions are lame at best, and they throw a little bit of fluff out there to make it look like they care. You have to have real compassion towards people and a real understanding of the scenario. I have a real understanding of that scenario. When I lived on the streets, I woke up one night to getting my head kicked in and my shoes stolen off my feet by another homeless person that you say isn't hurting anybody if you look at it that way. Not everybody on the street is the best person you can imagine. And there's a predatory community that preys on other homeless people. And talk to some of these people and find out if you don't believe me. Talk to the police officers who've had to probably, and I know it here, have had to break up fights between people over who's going to get what corner to raise money, because certain intersections or corners are the best spots. So I had to mention that. I am going to put together a group. It's going to take me a little bit of time. I want to try to wrap up my vacation. I want to get a few more days for myself out camping and clear my head. And I hope I can. It's been a really rough year for me personally, and I'm sure it has a lot of people. So I'm not playing the violin, and I'm not expecting people to comment, oh, this just melts my heart. Actions speak a lot louder than words. You could post something on Facebook all day long about who's the victim here and who's the victim there and deflect blame or put blame on somebody else without knowing the scenario. Get out and do something about it. If you're that concerned, get out and get involved. Do something about it. Stop critiquing other people who are, and based off of your assumption of something. Because it doesn't feel good, does it? If you wanted to question me on something, send me a message. So that is it on that. I will definitely keep everyone updated on where I'm going to go with that. But I've been talking to people in other communities on how they're addressing it, other communities in Massachusetts, how they're addressing the same problem, and we'll get control of this. I'll take care of it myself with the help of as many people as I'm going to need to volunteer and be part of this. And I know many of you will. Lamar Talley, I'm going to be in touch with you. Lamar is the one that many of us would like to see get on the housing trust. He belongs there. He's an intelligent guy who has a lot of knowledge on that subject of housing. So Lamar, if you do see this, I will be in touch. I've just had a ton on my plate lately, but I will be in touch. So sorry if I seem a little irritated today, but that stuff really did irritate me. So that is it for now. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be kind to each other, and I'll catch you all in the next day or two.